name is Paige. I'm a 21-year-old college student in the middle of job searching. My father, Michael, was working at a major trading company, and he's currently overseas on a long-term business assignment. That's why currently I live together with my mother, Rachel, and my sister, Melissa, 2 years older than me. Actually, at first glance, we may look like a normal family too, but there's something that's always been on my mind. And that was that my mother doted on and loved and spoiled my older sister to an extreme extent, but she was super cold towards me. And my sister and I don't look alike at all, and we also don't get along very well either. And because of that, my sister often bullies me too. You know, me and you, Paige, we are sisters, but we're totally different. Well, yeah, here we go again. I wonder how many thousands of times she said things like this to me. Even though I am this beautiful with such a bangin' body like this, you're small with a childish face, and you have nothing going for you. I wonder why that is. But even if you say that to me, it was true that my older sister was beautiful, and she had a thin frame that was like a model. It was a huge difference from me. When I was little, I didn't think about it much, but as we became adults, the difference in our appearance became bigger and bigger, and my sister started to constantly belittle me for it and bully me. Because of her beautiful looks, my sister was often the center of attention, and ever since she was younger, she was popular with the guys. But then my sister got a job straight out of high school, but she quickly quit. Even though she's 23 years old, she couldn't find a stable job, and she's just enjoying her life doing nothing. On the other hand, I studied really hard and got into college, and I'm also working a part-time job to be able to save up for my future. And, well, in some way, maybe she became a good example for me of what not to do. As the two of us, these opposites, were having this conversation, my mom came into the living room.
Melissa, I went and bought you a purse that I think would look really good on you.
Oh my, it's the brand new Hermes bag. Oh, so cute. Thank you, Mommy.
There's nothing for you, Paige.
Oh, sure. Oh, poor Paige. You don't get to have anything bought for you. It's so nice to be this beautiful.
Seriously, Paige, you really don't have any cute thing about you. If only you could be more like a proper girl. And yet year after year, Melissa becomes more beautiful. Even though you're the same daughters, how can you be so different?
And well, this scene was an everyday occurrence. My mother's different attitude towards us was awful, and the way she treated me and my sister were completely different. That's right. My mother and my sister had the same personality and interests. They were both beautiful with great bodies, and they liked fancy brands. And that mother also loved to go out and play. Even today, she's dressed up and seems like she's in a great mood. Mom, where are you going?
I'm going to the French restaurant that just opened up in front of the train station. My friend invited me.
What do you mean, friend? Who? Wait, is it a man?
Oh, shut up. This is none of your business. Anyway, move. I'm gonna get going now.
As my mom said that, she headed out into the town at night. She was using the fact that my father was overseas, and she was living a very free-spirited, everyday life. But then one day, when I got home from my shift at the part-time job, I'm home. Paige, you were at your part-time job again? Yeah, I was. Why? Even though you're a college student, isn't it boring to just be working instead of playing? I'm saving up money to prepare for my future. Unlike you, I'm not always messing around. You're so young, but you're too stiff, Paige. A life like yours seems so boring. Leave me alone. I'm different from you. And look, you're getting jealous again. Just because you're not beautiful like me, you always get so mad. That's enough already. It seems pointless to talk to you about anything, Melissa. That's right. She was always messing around and not thinking about her future at all, and it was pointless to say anything to these kinds of people. As I was thinking that, I was starting to get over it. All of a sudden, my sister started saying this to me. Hey, are you really my little sister? Huh? Well, that's a given, isn't it? Because no matter how you think about it, isn't it weird? Are sisters normally this different? I want to do a DNA test. Seriously. What? A DNA test? Yeah, that's right. I mean, don't you think it's weird that someone like you, who was seriously my little sister, even though your sister and your mom are both super beautiful, there's definitely something wrong with you. My sister may have said this to me because she thought she was bullying me as usual. However, at my sister's words, I even started to have suspicions about my own roots. Yeah, that's also true. You're right. I always thought it was strange too. Huh? Why do you have such a serious look on your face? Did you just start thinking seriously that what if you were just a baby that was picked up underneath a bridge? My sister said that. She went out and left somewhere. And from there, for the rest of the day, my mind was going in circles. That's why I decided to just pull the trigger and look into it. When I spoke to my sister about it, it seemed like she wasn't thinking so seriously about it. And with a big grin on her face, she said it sounded funny and she agreed to help me with the DNA test. But I was thinking that this might be a good opportunity. I had always wondered and been suspicious whether us sisters were actually biologically related, and so we decided to take a DNA test. My sister also went into my parents' bedroom, and she got my mom's hair and my dad's hair that she could find in the room. I was uneasy as I waited for the test results. About 2 weeks later, we received the DNA test results, but the contents of those results were shocking. So, doctor, how were the results?
Well, about that. Miss Page, you and Miss Melissa, it seems that you're not sisters from the same father.
What?
The father that took the test and Melissa shared the same DNA. However, the DNA did not match up with yours, Miss Page.
What did you say? At that moment, a shock went through me. My sister and I both shared the same DNA as my mother, Rachel, but even though Melissa's father was my father, Michael, I learned through the DNA test that my father was actually a completely different person. The person who I thought was my father this whole time wasn't my actual father. And this result meant that I was born in between my mother and a different man that wasn't my father. And this proved that they were hiding that from me for all these years. I wonder if my father knows about this. I wasn't able to accept this truth immediately, and on the way home I paid no attention to people, and I cried on the way home. For the first time in my life, I was learning the secret about my own birth. I don't know why, but it made me kind of sad. No, not necessarily sad, but maybe more like empty? But that also doesn't sound right. How do I say this? What is this feeling of alienation? I got home, and to my devastation, my mother and my sister were grinning in the living room and waiting for me. Even though I was upset, the two of them showed me an unexpected attitude.
Paige, you were surprised by those DNA test results, weren't you?
What?
Well, I was planning on talking to you about this someday anyway.
Hey. To my shock, my mom said this to me so nonchalantly, even though she had kept such an important thing a secret from me all these years. She didn't show any signs of feeling any guilt about it. Oh, come on. So now I finally know the reason why my parents and I look nothing alike. I feel so much better now. I bet your real father is probably just like you, and he's nothing. And my sister as well said that like she paid no mind to me. As it turns out, the results of this DNA test, my mother had already opened up about the secret to my sister. Now that she finally understood the reason why she was so different from me, she started to bully me even more. After that, my mom started to talk about the past. Around the time, my father started going on more international business trips, even though my sister was 1 year old. She left the baby with her parents and was hanging out at the nightclubs. Then she spent the night with a man that she met there, and apparently she became pregnant with me. I was shocked. Because my mom was hiding the reality that she had a one-night stand as an affair, and she gave birth to me. My mom was speaking with a smile on her face, but of course, this was my first time hearing this, and it was shocking to me. And sitting next to her, my sister was just laughing and looking down on me, and I couldn't forgive either of them. I turned back to the two of them that were laughing without paying any mind to my feelings, and I immediately left the house. Of course, I called my dad, who was in America, and I told him everything over the phone.
I see, Paige. So that means that I'm not your father.
So that means that you didn't know either, Dad?
Yes, I had had a bad feeling about this for a while, but...
Dad,
I'm sorry, Paige, that things have turned out this way. I can't believe that your mother continued to fool me and you. I don't know how to make this up to you, Paige.
Oh, Dad, please don't apologize. You didn't know anything. And you're the one that continued to believe Mom, right? And you always thought of me as your daughter, right?
Yes, Paige, even though things have turned out this way, you're always going to be my daughter, so there's nothing you need to worry about.
Dad, thank you. Thank you, Dad. And me too. You're always going to be my father, forever.
Paige.
My father was also heavily shocked. The older that I got, my father said that he couldn't see his shadow in me at all, and he said that he felt it was strange. But even then, he never thought that he wasn't my biological father, and I'm sure he didn't want to think that either. My father was devastated, and I had nothing more that I could say to him. The only thing that I could squeeze out was asking him to continue being my father after this. But my father and we felt the same in our anger towards my mom. On top of that, my father was furious with my sister, who continued to belittle me. From there, my father and I started to have more discussions together. Of course, he said he was definitely going to get a divorce and make her take responsibility for this. And me too. I finally wanted to get back at them for the years of abuse that I had tolerated. And so we decided to work together, and we came up with a plan to make the two of them jump in their pants. And then, 1 month later, my father came home into the country, and we decided to have a family meeting at that time. My father insisted that we needed to discuss the situation, and my mother reluctantly agreed. And so the four of us sat down at the table, and then the family meeting began. I thought it was going to become a scene of condemnation, but it seems my mom nor my sister had any reason to believe that.
What do you want to have a meeting about? This is a pain, so let's hurry up and get it over with.
Rachel, you've been hiding something from me for a long time, something very important. That I was not the father of Paige.
But even if I were to say that, there's nothing I could have done about what had already happened.
Do you have any idea how sad Paige has to feel?
But there's nothing I can do about that, because if I'd said something back then, we definitely would have gotten into a fight, right? Up until now, I stayed quiet and made a peaceful family, so if anything, you should be grateful to me.
No matter what kind of excuse you try to make, what you did was you had an affair. I can't continue on as family with you anymore, so we're going to be getting a divorce.
Huh?
You had an affair and got pregnant, and then you lied and pretended like the child is mine. That alone is difficult to forgive, but I already know it as well, that you're having an affair right now.
What are you saying?
My mother must not have imagined that my father and I knew that much about what she was doing, because suddenly she started to panic. I did a little research, because you're always going out to play at night. I thought it was pretty suspicious, so I made a request to a detective to investigate the potential affair.
Wait, what have you done?
But then the evidence just came pouring in, and not only that, but with somebody who also has a wife and kid. It was a double affair. What a party.
It's decided. I'm divorcing you. You better be ready. I'm going to take every last bit of a settlement fee that I can get out of you.
We also knew that it wasn't just this married man. My mom had a number of men that she was messing around with. Even when she was younger, she was messing around way too much. But it seems like her habit with men never ended up changing.
And you, Melissa?
What about me?
You're also dating a married man, aren't you?
How do you know about that? Melissa, we've already done the research too. But Paige? Along with having the investigation on Mom, we had them also investigate you, because you're always doing the same thing as Mom. So, both mother and daughter were having affairs with married people, and it seems like they couldn't even let out a squeak. How pathetic. It was unbelievable.
Melissa, I'm also cutting off all ties with you as my child. You're disowned.
Wait, what? No way. And so my father served my mother with the divorce papers, and he also disowned my sister, and he kicked the two of them out of the house. For a while, they were causing a commotion outside of the front door, but the neighbor ended up calling the police. The two of them were taken down and taken away by the police. Eventually, my mom agreed and the divorce was finalized. Not only were they kicked out of the house, of course, she was also sued for a settlement fee from the wife of the man that was having the affair. And she was sued by a number of other wives of other men she had messed around with in the past. Eventually, she had to borrow money from a sketchy place. My sister was also sued by the wife of the man she was having an affair with, and she was riddled in debt. The two of them were being chased around by scary-looking men with nowhere to go. But, well, they were caught immediately, and I heard that these days they're having to live inland and work around the clock. And the lawyer said that they probably won't be able to get out of that cycle for the rest of their lives. As it turns out, the married man that my mother was cheating with and the married man that my sister was cheating with, they were all left by their wives, and everything is hell. Well, of course it would be. They should all take that. Well then, even though it was discovered that I was not his biological daughter, after my father came back to the truth, we sat down and had a full discussion.
Paige, from now on, I still want to continue with you as your father.
Me too. To this day, the fact that you're my father hasn't changed and never will change.
Thank you, Paige. Actually, I negotiated with my company, and my request to come back to a position in the country has been approved.
What? Really?
From now on, I want to be in Japan and live together with you. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, so that means you're going to be coming back. Dad, I can't wait to live with you again.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!